Yeah. Can you see? You can tilt it down.
So great.
Now I'm too tall. We are leaving Fall Creek Falls in Tennessee, and it was a really nice park. Our site, as we mentioned, was
We should switch sides.
a little slanted. Okay, we're gonna.
Then I'll be up on the hill and you're downhill.
Now it looks like you're tiny.
Whatever. I am.
Our site was a little slanted, so we had to buy some extra blocks, but I guess that's not a bad thing. Now I've got extra blocks. Some of the highlights were actually the falls that I think the park is named after.
Beautiful.
Just beautiful. Huge waterfall. Then there was also another falls that we went to actually twice, where you could swim, and it had kind of like a natural
gorge at the bottom.
Yeah, and had like a natural slide where you could just slide down the rocks.
Super fun.
Very, very fun.
Worth the whole trip.
Yeah, that right there was worth staying here. So, anyways, we're heading out to
Yonah Mountain Campground.
Yonah Mountain Campground
In Cleveland, Georgia. Mountainous drive ahead of us,
Yeah.
but it'll be pretty.
It'll be pretty.
But I'll be gripping the door.
I'm gonna put the old truck to the test here.
Let you know here in about 4 hours.
Yeah, when I'm alongside the road or something. So.
No.
So are we ready?
We're ready.
All right, here we go.
Maple, where are we going? You ready to go bye-bye? Ready to go? Let's go. You ready?
Almost. Need to back up off those last 2 blocks.
Then we're off. We made it. We're here. Just barely. At Yonah Mountain Campground, Cleveland, Georgia. Maple's set up, she's hot. Got her swim gear all drying. This could be interesting.
All right, so we are at Yonah Mountain Campground, and I just blew the fuse in the jack. So Kirsty's running down to the general store. She thinks there's a little store down there where you check in. Hopefully they have the 30 amp fuses, because for some reason all I have is 15s. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I may be cranking this puppy up by hand, which really, really sucks. So.
4-3. 4
Did they just have the one?
Yep. He says, I just have a box of them. Just take it. Just figure out what caused it to blow.
One fuse. You get one chance. All right, we got the new fuse, and it just goes right here. And I just tried it out, and it works. So hopefully no more issues. And we are up in the air. Here is the old fuse can see it's kind of black and burnt looking. I think this jack has a safety mechanism so that you can't run it too far. So I think I tried to run it up too high and it blew the fuse instead of hurting the jack. So we're all set. We are completely set up and ready for Yonah Mountain Campground and seeing what's going on in this area. We are now at the Consolidated gold mine. So I'm gonna try to take the camera in there. Hopefully they'll let us.
This mine opened up in 1898, 70 years after they first discovered gold, and it remained open for 8 years. Now in 1906, the mining company actually went bankrupt, and when that happened, they blasted the entrance shut to this mine, and that caused the mine to flood. And it remained flooded all the way until the 1980s. That's when we opened it back up, and in the early 90s, we started giving tours. As a matter of fact, 1991, almost 30 years ago, we gave our first tour. That's what we're here for today. The reason this mine is so famous, even to this day, it is still known to have one of the largest veins of gold-bearing white quartz ever discovered in the entire world. And that's our first stop. We've got 4 miles of tunnels down here. We're going to walk about a quarter mile. If you've got questions, let me know. Follow me this way. Friends from Florida, Texas, Illinois, we're going to get some natural air conditioning. You see, the gold they're finding down here, it's a lot different than the gold we normally think of. We love to think of gold in a nugget form, maybe even flakes of gold, but they're actually finding gold in a powder form underground, and they called this powder gold flour gold. The reason they called it flour gold, they told us that each piece of gold they're finding, it was the size of a piece of baking flour. So it is very, very tiny pieces of gold. So what they're going to have to do here is drill a bunch of holes with all these rocks, fill those holes with dynamite, then they're going to blast all that quartz out, and eventually they took the quartz outside the mine. Well, that's where most of the work happened, outside. That's where they're going to start a long process to get all those tiny pieces of gold out of that white quartz. Tunnel that takes it down to the rest of the mine. As you start walking down the tunnel, you can see some on-car tracks, but you also start to see a whole bunch of water. And the reason for that is this: the level you are on today happens to be the only level that has an exit. What that means is this is the only level where water is able to exit the mine and go outside. So when the miners were going to work down there, they had to pump all that water from down there and bring it up to here so it can flow outside. Now I'd love to show you how they pump the water. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now the miners use hand pumps to pump the water. They had several of these hand pumps, and I have one of them right here. And what they'd have to do for about 12 hours a day is they're simply going to stand behind the hand pump, and then they're going to push it forward, pull it back, push it forward, and pull it back. And every time they're doing this, what they're doing is taking a little bit of water from down there and bringing it up to here so that water could eventually make its way outside. Now, even to this day, friends, we still have to pump water, because if we do not, that water that's down there, well, it's going to rise and eventually flood the level we're on today. But our way is a lot easier. see, we put a submersible pump down there, then we put a floater on that pump. What that means is that water gets to a certain level, our pump automatically turns on and pumps that water. Now, if I did not have that pump, I'd imagine someone's going to have to be down here using this for about 12 hours, okay? Sand, put it in the sifter, okay? Here's the fun part. Take this, turn it sideways, bounce it up and down. Watch what happens. Yeah, you're gonna watch me have a bunch of sand, okay? If I have bunches of treasures, I found you brought you some bags, everything popped inside the bags. If you need more, you let me know, okay?
Whoa. Do you want to clear your treasures out?
Look at it! Look at it! See that? Put the bag up.
Here, show Daddy your bag.
Look at this big purple one. Mom, this one looks, there's a bunch of these kind. Dad, I got a bunch of these kind.
Yeah.
Right here.
What's that?
I got like 5. Where? Yeah, I'm walking.
That was fun. Lots of fun. We got gold, rubies,
I'm sitting this way.
amethyst. Not gonna know the names.
This way.
So much fun.
Mom.
Going to do some hiking. Kirsty's driving. I'm trying not to get sick.
Enjoy the view.
I don't do well in the passenger seat. It's not a masculine thing. It's more of a just
I don't like driving.
control thing. I don't like anybody else driving but me.
Not a good driver.
No, she's a fine driver. But I can't relax real well when I'm not driving. So it's a beautiful drive though. We're getting ready to hike Dukes Creek Falls.
And we think it's gonna be fun. And Cortland thinks there's gonna be a waterfall, but I think there is one, because we hear water.